All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining tonight. This call is about using business skills in everyday life. And this is a subject I have recently got more passionate about. My name is Shelby Putnam. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I am a mom to two little boys, and I'm pregnant with my third. I'm supposed to have a girl. That's what the ultrasound tech said. So we'll see when this baby comes out if she's really a girl. Anyway, so I am hosting this call along with my colleague Beth. And we are both in the business world. And we just got kind of to talking about just business skills and things we've learned in our years of being entrepreneurs. And there were so many times where I was admitting someone, where I honestly was like, how can I be an entrepreneur? Like, I'm in my 20s, I'm a mom to little kids, I'm home with my kids. Like, I don't know, how can I kind of have this title? How can I utilize these skills in the business world in my everyday life? I don't know. I didn't feel like that was me. I felt like it didn't just accustom to my natural self. And then when I started actually digging into entrepreneur skills, I actually realized these actually are skills that are important, not just being an entrepreneur, not just being a business person. They're truly important for everyday life. And then it made me feel more natural in being an entrepreneur. It made me feel more natural in being a businesswoman because I just didn't feel like me. Everyone has, their own view of business and everything. And I just would say I didn't have a great one, just to be honest. And I've grown a lot in my years of being in the business world for 6 years. And I just want to share some of the skills I have learned that I've actually applied to my everyday life that has benefited relationships that I have in my everyday life. And just to encourage you guys in those skills that you probably already are using and you don't even know, and you're not making money off anyone because it's not about that. It's just healthy skills to have in relationships. But so much of it can be twisted when you're in business and you make money, and then these skills don't seem like they can be utilized in everyday life, but they are. And like I said, I'm becoming passionate about it. And I was like, me and Beth were talking and we're like, let's just do this. Let's see who wants to hear. Let's see who wants to listen in. And so I'm going to go over 3 different skills. There's a lot, but I'm just going to touch on 3. I'm not going to make this super long and detailed, but I am going to touch on 3 different skills that are utilized in the business world and also utilized in everyday life. And I've seen it in my own life. I've seen it in multiple other people's lives and they don't even know it. And sometimes it makes me chuckle because I'm like, you don't even know you're using a business skill right now, because I've kind of studied this and it makes me excited. So I'm going to go over 3 skills briefly. And then Beth will be sharing her story, her side, not really her story, but some other information. And so the 3 skills I'm going to go over are sales, inviting, and following up. And so the first one I'm going to go over is inviting, having the skill of inviting in your everyday life. So does anyone ever invite a friend to go out to eat? Do you invite someone to a concert? Do you invite, I'm a mom, so anyone to meet you at the park for a play date or to go to the zoo? I'm actually in a group text with some friends and we're all talking about going to the beach tomorrow. Hey, do you want to come with me? So inviting is like a skill that you need in relationships. When you invite someone to spend time with you, it means you value that relationship. When you invite someone to come over to your house, it means they're important to you. When you invite someone to do something, it means, like I said, the relationship's important. It's a good skill to have. It's a good skill to maintain friends, is to be inviting. And everyone can invite in different ways. It doesn't have to be at your house. It doesn't have to be park. Just think of a time. When have I invited someone to do something? I guarantee you have something in the last few weeks, or you have something coming up that you want to do, but you really want that friend to go with you, or even your spouse. You want your spouse to go with you. It's just a skill that is so natural that you don't even know that you're doing, but it's also a business skill. I'm going to briefly touch on how it's a business skill. when you're in business, when you have a product or service that you want to share with someone, you invite them to look at it. And there are multiple ways to do it. There are multiple strategies. There's healthy ones, there's unhealthy ones, and I'm not going to go into all of that. That's not why we're here. But you have to invite someone to look at the product or service, to come to the business building and the store that you have, whatever it is. I mean, like I said, there's so many different businesses out there. But you have to invite someone to look at it, or they're not going to look.
Hey, would you say would you say that inviting is part of any business, regardless of what it is, whether you're an attorney or a doctor? Because I heard you just say inviting someone to take a look. And I know that we don't often think of maybe a doctor inviting someone to take a look, but what if you don't? Then what do you have?
I mean, people don't know what you can offer them and how you can help them. So if you don't invite someone, and that can go with like marketing, depending on the business. Because when you market something, you're letting someone know that you have something that could help them, a need they have. There's a lot of different needs in the world. I just bought these earrings like 2 weeks ago because my other ones were getting rusty. So guess what? Someone invited me to look at this. I went to their pop-up shop. I found them. If she didn't invite me, I wouldn't have gone. I wouldn't have got these cute earrings. So that's my example of inviting. The second skill that I have is following up. So have you ever texted someone and they didn't text you back? Anyone? Have you ever gotten a text and you didn't text them back? Yeah, I know you're all raising your hands as you're listening, because this is so normal. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I have forgotten to respond because my kids spilled something, because I got a call, because another friend texted me and it was like an emergency, whatever the thing is, because I looked and I really couldn't respond because I was I was at a stoplight. I'm not gonna lie, I've done that. And I'm like, why did I look at my phone? No, I can't respond. And then you forget. Okay, so the skill of following up is important, because how many times have I missed a text message where someone asked me that recipe I posted online, or they asked if I could watch their kids. Hey, can I swing my kids over for a couple hours? Or they asked me a question. Hey, what's that resource? Blah, blah, blah. You were talking about, I'm going to talk about a zillion things with all my friends. I like a lot of things, but hey, what was that thing? And I need to look it up, and I forget. So imagine if the conversation was just done. Like, okay, I'm just going to assume this person's ignoring me. But what if we followed up with them and we said, hey, did you get my text? Just curious. Just curious if you can watch my kids. Hey, just curious if you have that recipe. Because guess what? Most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, actually for me, 100% of the time, for real, if I miss a text, it's because I forget. Honestly, I don't ignore people, even if I don't have an answer for them. I'm just not that type of person. And I'm sure you're not either. I'm sure you're not one to want to ignore people. So that's why following up is so important, because it maintains the friendships. It helps you stay in contact with the person that you're trying to communicate with. And it helps you believe the best about them, to know, okay, they're probably not ignoring me. They're probably just busy and they have life going on, but I need this, I'm curious on their answer to my question. So following up is important because it means you value the relationship. And so that is also a skill in business. When you invite someone to look at your product or service, you have to follow up with them and say, hey, did you like the earrings? You don't have to do this. I'm just telling you a skill that's important. Like, hey, it's good to follow up. How'd you like the earrings? I just bought something online a couple weeks ago, and the company sent me an email and they said, hey, can you rate our product and give us a review? That's following up, because they want other people to see the reviews that people are liking this product. And I do love it. I love this product that I bought. I like to buy a lot of things. And so following up is a skill that is important in relationships, and it is important in business, and it looks different depending on the business you're in, but it's a super important skill. So then I have the third that I'm going to touch on, which is sales. And what got me thinking was my oldest son has been really afraid of jumping in the water and swimming. And, we're in summertime, so it's on my mind. And he's just been so afraid, and I've never shoved him in the water. I've never made him feel guilty for not jumping in. But I have encouraged him. I have said, you can do it, buddy. Like, let's try it. Let's do it today. You can do it. It's a good thing. You're learning how to swim. You're getting older. You're getting bigger. I've tried to tell him all the benefits. When you can jump in the water, then you can start swimming under the water one day and holding your breath and da 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 da. Okay, you all get it. If anyone is a mom on here, you understand the art of trying to encourage your kids to try new things, whether it's reading or riding a bike or trying a new food. So I think that's like pretty normal with moms. The conversations I have all the time are like, yep, trying to get them to do this, trying to help them see the benefit of this. So to go off that, how my mind started wheeling and dealing in my head, I was thinking, honestly, every time I do that with my son to help him jump in the water, I am selling him on the benefits of why he should jump in the water. Like I said, I'm not making him do it and pushing him in this corner and making him feel bad, but I'm selling him on the benefits. I'm letting him know that this is a good thing to learn. And I want him to know why, and I want him to feel empowered in making the choice to jump in the pool. And so at the end of the day, that's what sales is I'm giving people knowledge and insight and hopefully empowering them to look at something that could help them meet a need in their life. I'm not convincing them. I'm not shoving them in the corner and telling them, you need this product or service. If you don't do it, blah, 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 blah. Don't threaten people. I don't threaten my kid when they're trying new things. We want to encourage them, and we want to tell them the reasons why it's good. And that's exactly what sales is we want to tell people why a product or service can benefit them, and they make the choice. And a really cool story. This actually happened today out of all the days. My son is jumping in the water by himself, going under. Out of all the days, today he did it. Like, he's been jumping in and we've been catching him, which is a big step. But today he's going in and he's going underwater. And I was like, what? Out of all the days where I was going to share this story through, the beginning of June to now, it's been super cool to see that I didn't have to make him feel guilty or shove him in a corner and make him do it. I just kept encouraging him and telling him the benefits of it. And that's what sales is. You're telling someone how you can meet a need for them. And so that's all I have with the 3 skills, with inviting, following up, and sales, and how they're utilized in your everyday life and how they're also utilized in the business world. And you're using these skills not to make money off people, not to make an income. You're using these skills to maintain relationships and have healthy relationships in your life. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what business is.
I love that. I love that. And some of you may know Shelby, some of you may not know her, but I've had the privilege of working alongside her for 6 years, and I have a pretty large global business, and it's very interesting to watch the way life skills manifest themselves in business and the other way around. And I think we can all agree that life is a little different right now. Life is requiring a little more grit than maybe it did previously. And that's across the board, just because of what we're all living in and through, and the 18 months we've just experienced, and what we're living in now, and what the next few months are going to look like. And so, there's 3 words that are really important to me in business, but they're also important to me in life. And it's gratitude, grit, and grace. And when you take the things that Shelby just shared, it's really interesting how they kind of fit in. So, when you talk about following up with people and staying connected and building those relationships, you've got to have some grace with people. life is challenging for everybody. Everybody's got 8 million balls in the air, and they may not be your balls or your time schedule. You may be in a different stage in life, a different time, a different place, but having some gratitude that maybe they were at a red light. Maybe the dog did throw up on the carpet. Maybe the little one does have to pee pee on the potty right this second. And just you can't return that text right now. And then something else happened. So having a little bit of gratitude for both yourself for what you do have, and having grace for yourself and other people, giving people grace and not just writing them off because they didn't respond right away. And that this is all under one umbrella of life and business. I'm not even going to separate the two. Then you look at Liam, and I think of sales as a responsibility. And I will just tell you, going back a tiny bit, when I was graduating college, I was about to go into the mortgage business, and it was just kind of the way life had things set up for me. I didn't realize that there would be sales. And when I realized that I was going to have clients and I was going to have to tell them the benefits of what I had versus this mortgage company or that mortgage company, the other mortgage company, I actually didn't realize I was in sales. And I remember going to my very first mortgage brokers meeting, and I'm 5 feet tall and the mortgage business is a male dominated world. So here I am at 20 years old. I graduated early. I go to my first meeting. I'm not even old enough to drink. I look like I'm somebody's child, and I have my suit on. I probably look like I was in my mom's clothes, and they're talking about sales. And I'm like, ew, why are they talking about sales? What does that have to do with financing someone's house? Why are they talking about sales? Every part of the meeting was about sales and more. And I'm like, ew, I need a shower. I feel gross. Like, this is yuck. And then I realized by the end of the day, I thought, no, wait a minute. Just providing a service for somebody. Like, if I don't tell them what I have, they won't know I have it. And then I won't be able to help them. And through the years, what's developed for me is that sales becomes a responsibility. It becomes an obligation and a moral responsibility for me to do that. And if we use Shelby's example of Liam swimming, to me, it has these really long-term things. It's not just the little things. So she was able to encourage him to do something that he was afraid of. She was able to help him overcome a fear and work through a fear and gain some confidence. And then now he has competence, because now he's competent to do the thing, to jump in the water, which is going to give him skills to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And then when he's in high school or he's in college and that really cute girl is a lifeguard and he wants to be able to talk to her, but she swims, imagine if he wouldn't fit in. Imagine what that would do to him as he got older. So when I think of like long ranging things, you think about children and food, and the food that we encourage them to eat, the food we put on the table. Eat your veggies. Why do we have them eat their veggies? Because we care. If we didn't care, they could go eat something out of a can or a box. It's easier for us. Or, go eat a candy apple. It's certainly easier than peeling and cutting an apple. So if you think about why we do what we do, in ways that have nothing to do with making money, in ways that have nothing to do with just purely making a difference in the lives of people that we care about, and you see where it becomes a true responsibility. If you have an aging parent and they need medication, you make sure they take that medication, because it's the difference between them remembering or not, living or not, their heart working or not. You're not selling them anything, you're not making money, but you're providing something for them that's a responsibility and obligation that you have. And in that case, maybe a little more drastic, save their life. But when you believe that strongly in something and you see the benefit in something, it's something that comes naturally to all of us. And I think when we start to switch, and I've noticed that about the business that I'm in, because to me, it's a responsibility. I have a responsibility to share it with people. Then it's put in their lap. The ball is in their court to do what they want with it, right? I've given the information, I've provided the benefit, they do what they want. My daughter is 21. She's not 4 anymore. So at 21, it's a little bit different. I get to sort of lay out the stuff, and when I think it's important, I really sell it. So since Shelby gave an example, I'll give one that was very impactful. About 18 months ago, at the start of the pandemic, my daughter was studying abroad in Australia, and I got a call on Monday, March 16th, and her birthday was March 18th. And I was supposed to be in Australia. My trip got canceled because of the pandemic. And I got a call at 10 o'clock at night on March 16th from her school, the study abroad office. And they said, get her on the next plane home. We don't know if or when we will be able to help you get her home if you don't get her on the next plane. And that led to about a 12-hour campaign, sales pitch. I don't know what you call it. Everything under the sun to explain to my daughter why she needed to be on the next plane. The safety, her health, not seeing the family, not knowing when or how we were going to get home, not being able to get her food. Everything in Australia had closed down. The stores were locked. She only had what she had, and that was it. Not being able to get her money. Don't have Venmo there. Can't Venmo anybody money. Can't get her, no way to get her money. She didn't have an account there. I mean, the list was a mile long. And the truth is, had she not come home, I likely still would not have seen her. She'd still be in Australia because of the requirements, because of all of that. And, you know, she recognizes that now, but it was a tough 12 hours. And that was, let me tell you, that was some hardcore sales, because I knew the benefit and I knew what I had to do as a mom, because it was her safety. And I pulled out all the stops I could possibly think of, and certainly a little more hardcore than I would ever be in business. But it was that important. It was that important that happened and that I do that. And so I think when you look at whatever business you choose, if you've chosen a business, or maybe you haven't yet, and maybe you haven't chosen a business because of all that it represents and some of the stuff that you know you have to do. So Shelby touched on it. You can't be I mean, I look on here, there's, you know, medical practitioners on here. There are attorneys on here. There are stay-at-home moms on here. There are dads with corporate careers. I'm just looking at some of the faces I know, and know from people who've registered. Every single one of those people must, in their profession, they must sell. If you're an attorney and you're the best in class, best at what you do, what does it matter if nobody knows who you are? You're going to be the best at what? Telling yourself you're the best. I mean, you know, going home at night and saying, wow, I won that case, but nobody knows about it. If you don't put that out there, how do we know who the best doctor is? When you're looking for a surgeon for your child, or I was a gymnast, so surgery is just second nature. We've had, I don't know, I've had 9, my daughter's had 4. We're looking for the best surgeon. How do you do that? You ask people, and you read, and you look, and you look, and you read, and you ask people, and you, right. And now that we have social media, you can find that stuff there. But what if nobody was sharing that? What if there were no reviews? What if the doctor had no information out there? What if there was nothing to find? How would we do that? How would any of us do that? And so when you yourself think of going into a business, or maybe you own a business now, but it's not quite where you want it to be. It's only not where you want it to be because of 2 reasons. There's only 2 reasons why it isn't there. One, people just don't know. And then for the people who do know, maybe there aren't enough of them. Maybe there are enough of them, but you don't either care enough or think that you have enough to share with them, or you're not caring enough about how you can solve a solution for them, or don't see it as a responsibility to share something that can maybe make a difference in their life. It'll never be about our wallet. What comes into your wallet is simply a reflection of the number of lives you touch, no matter what you do. If you have a construction business, if you're an attorney, if you're a florist, it doesn't matter. The smiles you put on someone's face, the plastic surgery you do on someone, the court case you win for them, the floor you shine for them, the cabinets you clean for them, the pet that you groom for them, that is the number of times you do that will reflect in your bank account. But that all starts with you, and it all starts with you knowing your worth, your value, and having gratitude for who you are, what you are, where you are in life, what you've already achieved. Having grace for yourself and other people, and then grit to see it through, grit to show up, grit to let people know who you are, grit to help people solve problems that they have. And it's not your job to convince them that you're the answer to their problem. Your only job is to let them know that you may have an answer to a problem they have expressed to you. not to tell them they're full of problems. Listen to what they tell you their problem is, and then just share what you have. And either they'll want it or they won't. That's your only job. Your job is never to convince, just like Shelby's job wasn't to take Liam and find the biggest cliff she could and toss him in the water. Because you know how my dad taught me to swim? So I might be tiny now, but when I was 5, I was about the size of a 2-year-old. And none of this is true. And we were at our local town pool, and my dad is 6'2", and he carried me to the middle of the big pool. That's what we called it. It was the adult pool, and it was 5 feet deep. And we were about 5 to 8 feet away from the wall. And my dad took my teeny tiny self and he said, "Go." And that's how I learned to swim. So there are lots of different ways to do things, but I think when you do things from your heart and you do things from a place of genuine caring, and you really have a heart to serve other people and want to impact other people and want to change things in your own life, that's when you decide to show up in the world just a tiny bit bigger to impact other people. So we do have a couple minutes. If you have any questions, Shelby and I are more than happy to answer a couple of questions if anybody has any. I just want to say thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for taking the time, because you could have done a lot of things tonight, including sleep. And I really appreciate you taking the time to be here tonight, because both of us feel like it's a really important subject. We feel like it's really important to show up in the world and be who you want to be, who you are created to be, and bring out the gifts in you that you have to share with the world. Because maybe you don't think that you have any, maybe you're questioning what that is and you don't have anything to share. I promise you, if you're honest with yourself, there's absolutely something inside of you that you have to share with other people that will make a monumental difference in someone's life. And I was just talking to somebody last night, and we were talking about this. You may not change the world, but you will change someone's world. So with that, I'll say thank you, and we'll take any questions if anybody has any, or comments or anything.